Welcome to Hollywood as I live and work.
This whole project came about for me when I got a call. I'd been working with Qasim for a few years. We were actually trying to get a different project financed. And I got a call and he said, you know, I'm doing this film. And he told me what the film was about, and I knew immediately that this film needed to be made. I knew that somebody had to step up and be brave enough to take the risk of writing and directing and making a movie like this in these very troubled times. So I'm somebody who will never support religious intolerance. So it was a no-brainer for me to get involved and make this film. And, you know, we had one angel who said yes, and, you know, we put an incredible group of people together who all came together really understanding the importance and the relevance of the material. And they all jumped on board, from actors to crew people.
First time to watch.
I did not want a character who was already sort of labeled, and i.e. like you see them and you're like, oh, that's the guy that does these kinds of movies, you know, and that's very difficult with African American actors, because, you know, we get labeled pretty quickly, and it's sad, but that's just how it is. So for Evan, you know, this is his first starring role in a film. You know, he's a very strong actor. He has a certain level of intensity that he brings to the character, and you'll see this when you watch the film. And this sort of spirituality that he has within him, within his eyes and stuff like that, it really adds to what this character is supposed to represent.
Hey, where's your kufi?
I have my regular hat, so I didn't think I needed it.
Get your kufi.
I've always loved Roger. I've always thought he was underrated as an actor. And I thought, I've never seen him and Nia Long together, and I thought those two would be wonderful.
Your children.
They're Muslim children. And Tariq is a young man now.
The kids at school give them a hard enough time. Hassan, you're being too strict.
Nia and I had been wanted to work together for a long time. No pun intended. And it's funny, apparently when she was approached by the producers to do this film, she said, well, you know who would make a great husband for me? Roger Guenveur Smith. And they said, well, that's amazing, because we've already been talking to him about playing your husband. So it was definitely ordained that it would happen. And, you know, it's crazy when you do a film project, particularly a low-budget film project, which doesn't allow you the luxury of days for rehearsal, etc. You have to hit it running, and that takes a lot of training, yes, but it takes a lot of trust as well. And I think that Nia and I had a lot of trust in each other and challenged each other in good ways.
This is a melting pot. It's where we live.
Well, you might want to think about reining things in a little. What is your deal, huh?
I thought we both requested Muslim roommates, so...
My father requested a Muslim roommate.
Well, my character is Professor Jamal, as we said, and I think the biggest thing about him, for as far as Tariq's character, Tariq, who is Evan Ross's character, the biggest thing for him is that he kind of shows Tariq another side of Islam, what it means to be a confident and avid Muslim man in America, but not necessarily wear it on his sleeve or be so stuck up in kind of stiff and rigid as his father and his father's friends, and probably the guys that he'd come into contact with in his school. When I first started acting, I made a list of people in this industry who I'd like to work with and get an opportunity to be seen on screen with, and Danny Glover is definitely one of them. So this project was a good opportunity for me to check that off on my list. And Q wrote some really incredible scenes for us. So he and I really got to get busy. It wasn't like I just, I passed him in the hallway in the scene. It was like he and I got to go toe to toe, and that was a real pleasure.
I knew, because of some of my past work, I understood how difficult it is first for an African-American male to make an independent film in this country, and then an African-American male who's Muslim making a film about an African-American male who's Muslim. And I understood that our real challenge was most likely going to be distribution. We had created an incredible community online, and I attribute this to Qasim Basir, who really understood who his audience was for this film. I mean, it was very obvious to all of us who the audience was, but younger people really understand how to use the internet to build a community, and we built a very, very strong community that enabled us to secure the kind of deal that we did with Eventful as our marketing partner and AMC as our distribution partner. We can blow open a new door for a lot of people if this is successful. And in order for this to be successful, thank God for people like you who are here talking to me and all of the people who have talked to us. If you can get the word out and we can get people in the theaters, we can go wider and we can create a model for other independent filmmakers.